Killer Mike is a busy man. Between touring as one half of the Grammy-nominated duo Run the Jewels and his political activism, he found time to put together one of the most hilarious news shows of 2019 called Trigger Warning. The show is somewhat unclassifiable, but if pressed, I'd call it a political comedy reality series. It's got the cojones of Borat in that it doesn't flinch away from cringe-inducing public spectacles, but unlike the Ali G show, the commentary is less in the subtext and more directly in your face. It positions the series as a pioneer of making you laugh and learn at the same time. The season must be watched in its entirety because, like Nathan For You, the cast of characters who join the series appear multiple times throughout it. The incredible concepts in Trigger Warning range from using porn to educate people on trade skills, to Mike starting his own religion based around his friend Sleepy, who might be the funniest person I've ever seen in an episode of anything who doesn't say a single word the entire time. I could talk for hours about each and every one of these gems, but I'm going to concentrate on my favorite episode of the series called White Gang Privilege. So, spoiler warning for episode 3 of Trigger Warning, you've been warned, but hopefully not triggered. First off, I should disclose something. I'm a huge RTJ fan. I love their music and for the most part their message. They are known for being vocal advocates for women's rights, and it was so refreshing to hear them both give speeches at a festival about consent and treating women with respect. As for his politics, I don't always see eye to eye with Killer Mike, specifically when it comes to guns. But he does often make me see things from a different perspective, such as my privilege when it comes to not fearing being shot by the police, and my disinclination to arm myself because of it. And I bring up privilege because episode 3 of the series focuses a lot on perception. The episode starts with Killer Mike explaining how the Hells Angels have copywritten their logo and brand and now commodify it as if it were Pepsi. Seeing how Western culture romanticizes gangsters such as Scarface and The Sopranos, he wonders why the same doesn't apply to black culture. His solution is to brand the Southside Crips with their own product line, starting with their own soda. This is an episode that immediately makes you juggle with your own preconceptions. Most viewers, myself included, will initially find the premise problematic due to the violent history between the Crips and the Bloods. The writing and pacing here deserve a lot of respect because they're keenly aware of this and wait until the very end of the episode to shove it back in your face. Mike starts out by trying to get a loan to help fund his venture, but can't secure one for obvious reasons.
Like if you're in California and you're in the marijuana business 10 years ago, you're a trailblazer, you're ahead of the time. They're kind of more in the trailblazing part for Georgia.
Okay.
Not defeated, the team gets to work making their own soda from scratch on a micro budget out of their own homes. Now, whatever your initial thoughts on the Crips may be, it isn't long before the enthusiasm and determination of members Murdo and Yayo quickly melt away any prejudice you may have been feeling. They take as much pride in their work and product as any steel or coal miner in Middle America. It's downright adorable watching them swell with pride at the entire undertaking. And the good times keep on rolling all the way till the first branding seminar. The exuberant white marketing manager shows no cracks of being nervous as he reveals the first corporate branding of the Crips in history. The members all seem especially thrilled when they discover their font is proprietary and will require licensing by anyone who wants to use it.
If anybody use that font, they gotta pay it. Okay, we don't have to do that then.
Despite the branding and great tasting soda, they struggle to find a place for it in local store shelves.
So are you guys like a separate Crips or are you part of like Crips?
No, we're
You're part of Crips?
Yeah.
Like the Crips that you always hear about, like gangs?
Like the Hells Angels, but Crips.
This leads to them hosting a product testing for Cripicola, and it's where the episode truly starts to take shape. The almost all-white panel of testers are initially impressed with the taste of Cripicola, but are near horrified when they find out who produced it.
Let me get a show of hands that you associate the name Crip with negativity. Associate the name Crip with negativity.
Like a room full of mirrors to your initial preconceptions about the gang, they echo predictable sentiments like,
You could actually get shot over buying a bottle of Cripicola if you're in Compton.
Undermines the real issue of gangs. Like,
That's my main
violence.
thing.
You know, this is people die over gang related stuff. You can't just put it in a soda name.
They also seem oddly okay with the concept of Hell's Angels doing the same thing because they characterize them as being a noble gang who helps women and the community.
I'm curious, if it was Hell's Angels.
I know that they've helped the community. They watch out for women and children. I know they do these things. I don't know what the events are called or anything.
The team seems devastated by this and saddened at the harsh reality of what their branding means to the psyche of Middle America. Then out trounces Killer Mike, turning the panel quickly into a room full of giddy fanboys. He explains his hypothesis, that America loves to glorify gangsters and thugs except when it comes to black ones. This sways the majority of the panel except for Mario, who stands his ground.
Andrew Jackson paid human beings to hunt other human beings and scalp them because it was easier to bring in their scalp for a bounty than it was their whole body. He didn't do it to reduce the numbers. He did them to annihilate the population. I love how...
And that's not the only problem with America. I mean, if we want to go into the problems with America, Killer Mike.
To be the most ethnic person in the room, Mario, you're an absolute fucking racist.
Mike eventually states that the panel should meet some of the members so they won't be so afraid of the other, something at this point the audience has already become deeply familiar with. It never fails to impress how quickly face-to-face meetings with different cultures can change perceptions. Plus, it doesn't help that the cameras are rolling and they're in front of real Crip members instead of just talking about them. You'd think expertly judging such powerful themes would be enough, but this episode goes one step further, because Soda was chosen for a particular reason. Mike makes the point at the start of the episode that he echoes again in the ending. Heart disease and diabetes kill more Americans than the Crips and Bloods combined by a monstrous margin, yet we don't think of the sugar industry as evil. The mainstream perception of gangs as soulless killers is propagated by every facet of the media, and even worse by politicians. How many times have we heard people on the right and left echo the sentiment of super predators while ignoring the true causes of death to millions of Americans in an institutionalized system that celebrates corporate success while vilifying ethnic minorities? And the show remains ever tongue-in-cheek as these heavy themes are juxtaposed with a farmer's market in which the Crips and Bloods peacefully compete with each other to outsell one another in the soda business.
But more important, the most feared gangs in Atlanta were now viable and fully legal soda companies.
We also should disclose that we're more fans of the higher concept Mike forces you to think about, and the absolute solution to class systems and poverty can't be capitalism itself, which props up a lot of these institutions in the first place. But we have to admire that it might ruffle a few of the right's feathers to see a Crip-A-Cola sitting next to a bottle of Pepsi. The entire series is great. We sincerely suggest you check it out. It's easily one of the best new series of 2019, and we're giving this one an 8.5 Crip-A-Colas out of 10.
You just automatically put me in a box, in all these boxes, and I don't like boxes. I have a song called Don't Box Me In, or actually it's called Box Me In, but the song's about not boxing me in, because...
As long as you don't box me in, 'cause when you box me in, I want to break free, want to open up.
Hey, thanks so much for watching, guys. If you want more of our stuff, you can click down here, hit the like button. You can click down here, hit the subscribe button, and continue watching. Thanks.
And you can leave hate comments too. I mean, the internet loves hate comments.
Please don't do that.
Start a flame war. Who knows? The power is yours. Welcome to the internet.
Oh, God help us all.